Hey folks, I'm Avram here for AE Plus, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a cool tunnel effect using Metal's Shapeshifter. And this is a very fast rendering and very fast producing tunnel, and it's very versatile. Pretty soon you'll see how. For this tutorial I'm going to use a slightly different method. I'm not going to rebuild the whole tutorial. I'm just gonna show you how I build this TUT, and it's a very simple one, so it will be very easy for you to follow along. The first part of the tunnel I will rebuild, so let's create a new composition. We'll make it 500 by 280, and we'll create a new solid, doesn't matter which color. Now we'll create another new composition, which will be our main composition, and that will be the HDTV 72025 pixels per second, that is. And into this comp we'll drag our first comp, right? So we've got a right sheet, and to it we'll add the Metal's Shapeshifter. Oh, I'm sorry, not Shapeshifter, but Freeform. I've misled you. Freeform. And let's start. For the grid, we'll set the rows to 4 and the columns to 1. Yeah, let's actually change the color here so we can see it a bit better. Something hideous. Okay, so this is better. We can see we have 4 rows. Let's close this up, and we would like to take this sheet and convert it into a square or a rectangle. First, let's create a new camera, just so we can see the 3D face of it. By the way, to create a new camera, let's do that again. Control Alt Shift C to create a new camera. Okay, so now you can see it's in 3D. And let's toggle down the grid control points. We'll go to RAW 0. We'll set the X value to -640, the Y value to 0, and the Z to -200. And we'll set it on both sides. Only on the positive side we'll set it to +640, 0, and -200. So we're actually stretching the our sheet or our solid. You won't notice any distortion going on inside the graphics you will choose to put in there. Anyway, let's go to RAW 1. You will set it to, again, -640, -180 for the Y, and 50 for the Z. We'll do that for both sides, so 640, -180, and 50. Moving on, RAW 2, -640, 0, 200, and both sides, 640, 0, 200. Cool. Let's go to RAW 3, -640, 180, and we'll leave this one at 0. We'll do the same on both sides, 640, 180, and you can see we're starting to get a rectangle shape here. For RAW 4, -640, 0, -200, and same for both sides, 640, 0, -200, and we get this lovely rectangle shape. Let's choose one of the corners and just round things up here. That's all we need to do. We don't need to get perfect shape here. We just want generally round, and not as opposed to square. Let's switch to the other side. We'll need to do the same here. We can't really reach this last part here, which is RAW 4, so we'll set the Y position to 50 on both ends, and this way we can grab on to the point. Let's make sure we have done both points. At this point, if I'll add just a light, Control Alt Shift L, 200. Okay, so now we can see better what's going on, and drag it down. Okay, so if I'll switch to front view and back up a bit, you can see the ends here are not straight at all, and since we are going to duplicate this shape many times to get that tunnel, we need the edges to be as precise as possible, so we'll just make sure they're straight. and that should take care of our problem. Let's make sure we've done all the edges. This is a very fun tool. I really like freeform. Switch back to active camera, and we've got a real nice shape here. Let's take the all 4 points back to 0 on the y-axis, both ends, and we've got a nice pipe going on. And it's not perfectly round, and since we are going to add a bit more deformation to it, it doesn't need to be round. So from this point on, I think I can go on to overview of the preview you've just seen. So here we are again in the final composition, and to create that tunnel look from the single pipe piece, we'll toggle down the generator. And you can see I've made 50 instances of the pipe, and I made sure it's distributed equally from the center, and I offsetted it not on the Z, as Z is the default option, so I've set it to 0 and offsetted it by 480 pixels on the X value. And under that, I've set the scale to be 102 on both the Y and Z axes, and that made a very long tunnel. I created a null object, attached it to the camera. You can see I've set the Z value of the position way out there. It's like minus 2600 and so. So it's a very long way to go through the tunnel, because it's a very long tunnel. But then again, you get a chance to do a fast slide down the tunnel. So let's go inside the texture and see how that's built. Inside here I've got a nice fire composition, which is actually taken from Regiant People. It's a preset I've downloaded, and it belongs to Mike. I have no idea what's his last name. It's called Hollow Window Fire and Embers. It's a very nice preset, and I've used this preset. Let's go back to After Effects. I've taken this preset and just duplicated it and resized it to a bigger size, and then I color corrected it and added a bit of linear wipe just to get rid of the top and bottom edges, and that gave me that nice texture going on. And that's what I meant by how versatile this tunnel is, because you can put almost anything here and give it any animation, or don't give it animation at all, and the tunnel will change its face very fast, and it's very fast to render. So yeah, I've added also a displacement layer. And if we'll go to my depth map, I added a displacement layer, which is just a simple fractal noise with a fractal type of smeary and a soft linear noise type. And I've added a simple expression to the evolution, just time times 24, which gave me this smooth silky like movement. And I've also inverted it and raised the contrast a bit, and I've added these edges here, this layer with for mask, just to get smooth edges here, so the depth map won't affect the edges of the tunnel at all, so I won't get any distortion on the edges, just on the middle part. That gave me the movement there. Well, that's just about it for the tunnel. That's as simple as it gets, and it renders extremely fast. Now for the letters, let's take the A. Now for the letters, it's just a simple text layer with a metal shapeshifter attached to it. I've used a thickness of 3, and I animated the position of it, just to slide a bit faster than the camera in the tunnel to get faster animation. To the reflection mapping, I've added the tunnel itself, and it's reflected on the letters after adding a bit of a depth map. And I'll show you the depth map also as simple as possible. It's just a simple solid with a circle effect. And once you combine everything together, you get this result. I pre-rendered the layers and then compose them back in. That's just a personal, my personal preference. I like to work this way. I think it's a bit faster. And then I I've color corrected it a bit and added Real Smart Motion Blur. You can, if you don't own Real Smart Motion Blur, which you really should, you can always use CC Forced Motion Blur, which comes free with After Effects. That's just about it, folks. It's a very simple one and it's a very fast one. I would also like to show you two more versions of this tunnel. The first one is this one. This is more of a fiery tunnel. And this is the second one. And this one is actually very interesting. It reminds me very much of a microscopic surgery cam. That, of course, if you take out the particles and the AE dots in the end. Well, good folks, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Once again, my name is Ram Ben Avraham, and I'll see you next time.